Hey you guys, this is Professor Vitt, and I'm here to walk you guys through our new extra credit, and it's a project on creating a fake photo or a fake video. Um, you'll notice here I've got a bunch of photos that are famous photos of the paranormal, which have pretty much been shown to be hoaxes. You'll still find some people out there who think that they're not hoaxes, but they don't reflect the broad consensus in the community. This extra credit project is worth about 5 to 10 points on your final grade, so that's actually a considerable sum. And I'll tell you a little bit later, right at the end, how you can maximize the number of points you're getting. This is a photo, a very famous photo taken of supposedly the Loch Ness Monster. It's called the surgeon's photo. And in fact, we know that this was a hoax. The gentleman who took it, there was some anger at ridicule in a paper because he had thought he tracked some footprints of the Loch Ness Monster, and those footprints turned out to be from an umbrella stand or something like that. For a long time, this was a real good piece of evidence for many people regarding the existence of Loch Ness Monster, the Loch Ness Monster, but people were often troubled by the size of this creature relative to the water around it. And when you see the photo in full, you only see this cropped version, you actually find that this is really super small, and the rest of it is very big. And there were 2 or 3 people involved in this hoax, and it had since been established that this was a hoax, but it was a good one. It was a good one. You have to be careful anytime you're talking about photographs being fake or being real. Just because this is a fake photograph of the Coddington Faeries, it doesn't mean that every photograph of a fairy taken is false or is a hoax. That would be a hasty generalization. Just as any picture taken of the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot or a ghost, it doesn't mean that all photos are hoaxes, right? It may turn out that, oh my gosh, someone gets a real photo of one of these entities. But just because one photo of one entity is fake, it doesn't follow that all of them are. So you want to be careful when you're evaluating evidence to actually evaluate the evidence and don't just base it on your own opinion. Okay, so let me just move on here a teensy bit. These are some famous photos. I'll just kind of move along. The girls involved in taking these photos, one of them finally admitted many years later that 2 of the 3 original photos were faked, but the last was real. These photos, when they came out, were actually quite a stir, and Arthur Conan Doyle, the writer of Sherlock Holmes, was convinced that these were real photos. William Mumler took some famous spirit photographs. I don't know if you can see them very well here, but you can see 2 individuals over this man's shoulders. Actually, this may be a hoaxed photo of Mumler, produced at trial, now that I think about it. Mumler was put on trial for fraud for his photographs, but there was no conviction. But there was testimony from other photographers as to how you could produce these types of photos just through double exposure. If you see here, you see a woman with her 2 hands on her shoulders, and if you look very, very faintly, you can see the outline of Abraham Lincoln. This is Mary Todd Lincoln, who allegedly came to Mumler's studio under an alias, and he claims to have not known who she was when she arrived and took this photo, and Abraham Lincoln miraculously appeared. This is a famous ghost photograph. It's called the Verne Ghost from 1995. This town named Shropshire this was a town hall, and this town Shropshire, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, burned down. And when someone snapped this photo, and when they took the photo, the girl was not standing there. So that apparently someone had done some digging, and there was a girl who died in 1677. And I believe she started the fire. She was thought to have started the fire. And it turns out that this photo was thought genuine for a long time until someone was running through a card catalog. I think this was from a postcard that someone had found. And if you note, this girl right here in this little corner section right here is in fact this same girl. You can't see her headdress as well because she is behind a white background, but you notice the scarf and the belt are the same, and this has largely been considered to be a hoax, but the individual who took this photo died prior to the discovery of this photograph, so we don't have any way for them to respond, but most people feel like this was just a case of a fake construction. Also, there might be some concern about whether or not someone living in 1677 would actually be wearing clothes that look like that and so forth, but that's sort of outside the scope of our speculation. Modernly, there's a famous video of a UFO from the Dome of the Rock, and when it came out, this generated quite a stir. A lot of hits, a lot of views on YouTube. You can still find it. Just search Dome Rock UFO. For a variety of reasons, people think that this video sequence is altered. No one seems to know who took the original video, so there's no chain of custody. No one reports seeing this entity other than the people who took the video. And I think there are some technical issues with the video that make it less likely. But what you can see is that throughout history, people have, for better or for worse, for good reasons or bad, either to make money or to kind of prove something that they think is real, people have been faking photos. And so what we're going to do is contribute a little bit to the misinformation in the world by having you generate your own fake photo. So I'm going to go through the steps of what you have to do here. And I will also designate in another place when your project is due, but this is just the nuts and bolts of what you have to do. Okay, first you're going to make your own paranormal photo. There are lots of ways to do this. There are tons of applications for UFOs and ghost apps on both Android and iTunes app store. There are just lots and lots and lots of them. So I would leave that as an exercise for you to find one that you like and use it. Alternatively, you can search online for photo editor, free photo editor online. There are lots and lots and lots of them. Excuse me. And then you can do whatever you want. You can do fairies, ghosts, UFOs, orbs. It occurs to me you could probably do, some type of cryptozoology, meaning you could do, you could do Bigfoot or the chupacabra, something like that. There are lots of entities you could do. Then you're going to post this video on the internet. Now you're either going to do it by way of YouTube or a blog, or you can even do it on your own Facebook page or Twitter or something like that. And you want to bait people and you want to say, gosh, I don't know whether this photo is real or not, or I can't be sure if this photo is real or not, and then try to invite some discussion of it and see what people say. If you're not getting any hits, remember, if you're on Twitter, try to use a hashtag. If you're on Facebook, ask a friend or two to evaluate the photo for you. But try to get at least 3 comments on that photo or that video. Then you want to try to write up a couple of pages on your work. You'll give me a link to the photo or the video. You will summarize the contents that you receive. Alternatively, if you are, I'll have a little section on Moodle for you to turn this in. You can include the photo or the video in the document that you submit. Then you're going to summarize the comments that you receive. Just give me the general tenor. Some of you may feel like, oh my gosh, I've gotten just a few comments. Some of you may say I've gotten several hundred. Do your best to summarize them. And then give me a little speculation. Do you think that confirmation bias plays a role in evaluating these photos? Do you think people who look at them have already made up their mind as to whether or not these things are real? And that should be sufficient. So the more points comes from not necessarily having the best photo. This isn't really a way to earn. The project is not, gosh, how good are you at Photoshop? but the project is, how good are you at um, sort of telling me about the role of these photos and the relationship that confirmation bias plays in evaluating these photos. Um, so don't worry if you feel like, gosh, I didn't produce a Hollywood style video or photo. Just get something out there and do it. And the better you do at writing up these 2 pages, showing me the video, summarizing your contents, and then speculating on the role of confirmation bias, the higher your grade will be. Okay, that should do it, you guys. So if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to email me. I look forward to seeing your submissions.